tenet that people follow within franchising is that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You want to be able to develop the relationships with the banks so your franchisees can have access to financing when they get there. An early conversation can give the franchisee an understanding of what that bank's appetite might look like.
Today we are exploring one of the most powerful models for business expansion, franchising. In 2026, understanding the relationship between franchisor, franchisee, and finance is more critical than ever.
I would still give that piece of advice is find something you love to do or something that you get excited about and use that as the process for making those decisions.
Hello everyone, this is Kripa Anand and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we are exploring one of the most powerful models for business expansion, franchising. In 2026, as entrepreneurs look for proven systems to navigate a complex economy, understanding the relationship between franchisor, franchisee, and finance is more critical than ever. Joining us today is Andrew Carter, Regional Market Leader for Franchise Finance at BMO. Andrew is a franchise expert by default, having spent most of his career working alongside franchisees in the Tim Hortons network. Today, he supports BMO's industry initiatives and partnerships team, providing national market expertise to help brands and owners scale through customized programs and strategic support. So, before further ado, let's welcome this very special guest. Andrew, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Now, Andrew, many successful small business owners think about franchising as their primary growth strategy, right? But it's a massive operational shift as well. So let's start the conversation by understanding how can a business owner determine if, franchising is the right growth strategy or not? And what should they do to be ready about it? Go ahead.
Yeah, there are a lot of answers to that question, and I'll start by saying I do some speaking with the Canadian Franchise Association, and one of the events that they put on is to help guide business owners to scale through franchising, all the different people that are part of that process. And I've had people on that webinar that have 20 units ready to scale, 2 units ready to scale, and even people that don't even have a business yet. They just have ideas that think that they could franchise them. So it's all over the place. But what I would say is that you need to have a replicable model that is process-driven, that anybody could follow. You need to have some scale that potential investors can see the growth potential. But most of all, you really have to be a profitable business because you're going to be charging franchisees royalties and advertising.
Good.
If you can't make money, they're certainly not going to be able to make money once they pay you.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense. Very well articulated, because understanding that franchising is, about selling a proven system rather than, just a product or an idea. It's the first step to successful expansion. Now, let's explore how investors choose the right franchise opportunities. So, what red flags should, investors watch for when evaluating a franchise opportunity, according to you?
Yeah, one of the great things about franchising and the main tenet that people follow within franchising is that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And so you have access to all of the franchisees that are in the system that you're interested in. You can talk to them and ask them questions about what their experiences have been like.
Yeah.
In the legal documents that you get as a potential franchisee, you'll have access to the names of those franchisees, or at least, where the locations are.
Yeah.
Those legal documents will also give you some indications as to how many resales have happened in the last previous couple of years, how many transfers have happened, closures. Those numbers there are big red flags. If you see a lot of turnover, you would have to start asking questions about what it is that the brand is doing or not doing that is forcing so many resales.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest support mechanisms when you're looking at and investing in a franchises is to talk to the existing franchisees, ask them the support level that they're getting from the franchisor, ask them about the level of profit and sales if they're willing to share that information. One of my favorite questions to recommend to people is, would you buy a second location, or would you suggest a family member invest in the same franchise? And if you get some mixed messages on that, you still have some answers to, or some questions to have answered whether or not it's the right investment for you.
Very insightful. I think doing deep due diligence on, the support systems and historical performance is what separates a profitable investment from, making a costly mistake. So thank you for that, Andrew. Next, let's look at building a strong franchisee support system. So what does strong franchisee support look like between, the franchisor and the franchisee? So I'd like you to explain this, from both the perspectives.
Yeah, I think I have a unique perspective in that because I did work for a long time in the corporate side of things,
Right.
working with franchisees as in many cases an intermediary between the head office and the franchise community. So I got to see a lot of both sides of the equation, and
Right.
it's sometimes a love-hate relationship. And so there has to be mutual respect for sure that both parties need to make money in order for the other one to be successful. And sometimes that gets lost in some of the decision making that happens on both sides of the franchisee and the franchisor decision making process. But what I would say is that when brands are growing, and we could talk about all the brands that are on the main street and we recognize them and they probably have a lot of support systems in the background. But when you're a newer brand or a brand that is considering scaling through franchising, there comes a time when you as the founder, who are wearing 15 different hats probably on a day-to-day basis, your franchisee recruitment, your marketing, your operations, your innovation, your everything.
Right.
There comes a time when you just can't do it all yourself. And so I think a franchisee who's investing in a system needs to recognize that the franchisor knows that and will bring in people or has brought in people that complement their skill set or perhaps our opposite skill sets to give some balance to the company as well. So the support piece is, it's hard to define because it means something different to every brand and every franchisee. But you have to certainly talk again to the existing franchise networks and do your homework to know what a good support system looks like. There's a lot of information out there with franchising. There's a lot of consultants who have a hand in a variety of spots in the franchise community. Use and leverage them to kind of understand what it is that you want to get out of the business. And sometimes they might be able to direct you to a business that complements what you're trying to get out of it as well.
Wow. I think that was very informational and educational for all of our listeners as well, Andrew. Because having a robust network of suppliers and professionals behind you, it ensures that the franchisee can focus on operations while, the brand continues to evolve somewhere else. So very interesting. To the entrepreneurs and aspiring franchisees watching, in 2026, you don't have to build your dream alone. BMO has been named the best commercial bank in Canada for 10 consecutive years because they understand the unique stakes of franchising. Andrew has witnessed the stress of opening new locations firsthand, from the early days of Tim Hortons' expansion to the national leadership role he holds today. If you are looking for a financial partner that understands the unique stakeholders in the world of franchising, BMO's Industry Initiatives team is your roadmap. Don't just pick a brand, pick a partner that provides the customized programs you need to win. We're going to take a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere because when we return, we'll break down how smart financing can accelerate franchise growth the right way. Stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us Us. Still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, listeners. Let's jump right in and explore why involving the right banking partner early can completely change the trajectory of a franchise business. Next, let's explore the role of financing and franchise growth. So, when should a business involve a bank into this picture, right? So, and how can the bank, help in this entire process?
Yeah, the short answer is as soon as possible.
Right.
But there's some context to that. I think if you are a franchisor that is looking to, or maybe perhaps a business owner that is looking to scale through franchising, I think it's important, and this is what I recommend any business owner do if this is their route, is to have a little bit of a road show with the banks. In each of the banks, there's going to be somebody like me who supports franchising. Have a conversation with them to understand what it is that they have an appetite for. Some banks may not have an interest in working with startup businesses. They may not have an interest in a particular industry. You want to be able to develop the relationships with the banks so your franchisees can have access to financing when they get there. So there isn't really any significant financing mechanism in place to support a franchise or investment to start to become a franchisor. But franchisees certainly will have that opportunity to talk to the bank. And my opinion is the sooner the better, primarily because there's a chicken or egg scenario in a lot of franchising. The franchisees want to know that they're going to get financing before they spend the money and pay the franchise fee. But the franchisor is not going to move forward until the franchise fee is paid, and then they can start, making magic together. But really, what ends up happening is at the banking level is that an early conversation with the bank can kind of give the franchisee an understanding of what that bank's appetite might look like. And if it doesn't fit what you're looking for, you have other options and enough time to go forward and talk to somebody else. The last minute requests make it challenging for everybody. The landlords, the franchisees, the franchisor, the bank, we're all stressed at that point. So the earlier the conversation that can happen, the better.
Definitely. I think early involvement, as you said, with industry specialists, it allows for a much smoother path to capital and, strategic partnerships. So it's a win-win situation for everyone who's in the situation. Finally, now, Andrew, let's look at how the franchise landscape, continues to evolve. So the businesses run in a very different way than, the traditional businesses back then. So how has the franchise support ecosystem evolved to meet, the modern business challenges as well?
Well, we hear technology and AI on the news every day, and it's no different in franchising. From some of the larger brands who are looking at digital ordering and AI ordering and drive-thrus as an example, but even just some of the support mechanisms behind the scenes that franchisors can invest in to give their franchisees more access to data. All of that, and I'm of the opinion that you make better decisions when you have more data. So everybody is struggling to get as much as they can relevant data. And so however they get that, technology, AI, through other means is part of the changing landscape on the operational side of things. But even franchisors are investing in more robust recruitment strategies for franchise networks. We know it's no different in Canada than it is in other places where the qualified franchisee is harder to come by. So the effort that a franchisor needs to put in to find the right franchisee for their system is a lot greater. And so any tool that they can use, CRMs or otherwise, to help with that process, it's going to be a good investment. But it doesn't replace the human-to-human contact that a franchise recruitment system will have with the franchisees. So while things still get evolved through technology, one-on-one conversations and interviews are still the best way to judge if you're the right fit for the brand or if the brand's the right fit for you.
Very interesting. Thank you for those insights. And you mentioned AI as well, right? So specifically with now artificial intelligence in the picture, let's do a little time travel with you. Imagine if we were to go 5 or 10 years into the future. When you get out of the time machine, how exactly do you envision AI affecting directly or indirectly this franchising industry?
Wow. Yeah, it's a challenging question to answer, I think, because I don't know where it's going. I don't have that crystal ball. I would say that the evolution of technology is still going to play a role in the franchisor side for sure, on the recruitment side. But where I think I'm less certain how it's going to play out is on the operational side. Like at the individual unit level, I don't know what's going to be absorbed by technology, whether or not people are going to have different roles within a particular organization. All I can tell you is that it's coming. I don't know what it's going to look like.
Definitely, we're all waiting and we'll see. No one of us knows that. I'm loving this conversation today, Andrew, and I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for, a deeper discussion. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you have for our listeners today, something that you'd want them to listen to, specifically for someone who is considering to invest in a franchisee but don't know where to, take that first step from, if you could whisper one thing into their ears, what would you say and why?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And in the role that I work at BMO, I come in contact with hundreds, maybe thousands of franchise networks. And I get that question a lot, which investment or which brand should I invest in, or where should I turn my attention to? And I always push it back to them to say, really, if you're interested in something and it makes you excited to wake up in the morning, then that's the right business for you. But to look at it from a purely investment standpoint and expect to get what you want to get out of it, a lot of things have to happen right. And you can get easily distracted in those situations. So I would still give that piece of advice is find something you love to do or something that you get excited about and use that as the process for kind of making those decisions.
That's a golden advice for sure. And also a great reminder that right partnership is the most important asset that you can own, right? And it was such a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Love to be here.
Thank you so much. All right, that was Andrew Carter from BMO, a masterclass in franchise finance, due diligence, and how to scale a brand through strategic partnerships in 2026. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more such resources. To learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit the Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbfoundation.ca. And lastly, a special thank you to our partners, UPS and ADP, our HR partner, for their ongoing commitment to empowering SMBs across Canada. I'll see you all in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.